Hi there, my name is Alan Shaw. I'm also known as 2mice on Drupal.org and elsewhere. I'd like to take a minute to show you a module that will help you get your CiviCRM activities into your Google Calendar or your Outlook calendar or other calendaring software that supports the iCalendar feed format. This has come up a few times in the forums and elsewhere in discussion, and we're very lucky to have a client who's sponsoring us to release this as a freestanding Drupal module to the community. Now, for the client's sake, we're releasing this as Drupal 6 for CiviCRM 3.4 right now, but once that's up and running, we will release this for Drupal 7 and CiviCRM 4.1. So let's jump right into the demo. We have here CiviCRM 3.4.5 installed on Drupal 6, and just for context, I'm going to switch over here and show you some of the activities that we've set up. We have two users on this system right now, the demo user and the demo admin. Well, the demo user has several activities already configured. Under the Activities tab, 3 of them are marked as scheduled, and you'll see one's a meeting, one's a phone call, and one is of the custom type initial consultation. They all have demo user as an assignee. Some of them have more than one assignee, some of them have more than one target contact. But the question is, how can the demo user get these activities into his third-party calendaring software with an iCalendar feed? So right now, let's go ahead and enable this module. On this server, we've already downloaded the module, but you'll find that if you like, at this URL, this is on 2mice's sandbox at Drupal.org. It's CiviCRM Activities iCalendar feed. You can download that to your server, and we'll come over here and we'll enable it. Here it is. It's under the CiviCRM group, CiviCRM Activities iCalendar feed. Once we click Save Configuration, then it's been enabled. And the next thing we need to do is set up permissions and navigation. So let's come to User Management, Permissions. Right now on this server, we only have the anonymous user and the authenticated user, but that's okay. We'll come down and find Access CiviCRM Activity iCalendar feed. We'll check the box for the authenticated user, save permissions. And the next question is, how can the demo user find the link to find out about their feed? The easiest way right now is that this module includes a block with a link to the iCalendar feed information page. So we'll come over here to Blocks, and we'll look under CiviCRM Activity iCal Links, put that in the left sidebar, Save Blocks. And so you see here, here's a link to a feed details page for the current user. You probably will want to put that into your menu somewhere to make it a little more easy for your users to find it, but this block just makes sure that you know where the link is. There's another way to get this in to make it a little more elegant, which we'll show you in a little bit. So the next thing we'll do is let's come over to the window where we have the demo user already signed in. And you see here he's got the block for feed details. Because we've enabled that block and we've turned on the permissions for authenticated users. Once he clicks feed details, then he comes to this page, which gives him the URL to his iCal feed for his activities. So we can click this link, and right away it just gives us the iCal feed for all those scheduled activities for this user. Let me take a moment to show you something about this URL. You'll see here that it has the user's UID, which is 3, and then it's followed by a random hash to help limit the chance of somebody guessing the URL to this person's iCal feed. And that's important because this URL will function whether the user is logged in or not. Naturally, in order for the third-party calendaring software to get to this feed, we can't require a login. So this hash is the secret that allows us to get into that iCal feed. If this feed becomes known by the wrong people, the user probably will want to rebuild the feed URL using this button here in order to get a new URL with a new hash. So this is DA5 for the last 3 characters. Once we click Rebuild Feed URL, you'll see we have a different hash here. The old URL no longer works, only the new URL works now. So what we'll do is we'll copy this address, and I'm going to come over to where I'm signed into my Google Calendar. And we'll choose Other Calendars, Add by URL, and we'll paste this in. Click Add Calendar. Importing calendar from URL, and here are the 3 items with all the information as much as possible, as much as supported by Google Calendar, including duration, including the description, If we look at this one, Meet Bill, we'll see that it shows who it's with, as well as other assignees and the description, location, things like that. And that's pretty much that simple. Let's also take a look real quick at configuration options. Let's go back to where I'm signed in as the admin, and we'll come to Site Configuration, Activities, iCal Feed Settings, and we'll see the configuration options. This module does provide caching in order to limit possible negative effects on the server performance from calendaring software that's a little too aggressive in pinging that iCal feed too often. It provides caching at this interval. That means once it's cached, it will not refresh that data for 30 minutes. If you want to turn off that, you could just set it to 0, and that's no problem. Caching is stored in files, and those files are stored in this directory. There's a little bit of explanation and important information there below that field. I'm going to set this back to 30. So those are the configuration options. Mostly you could just leave those blank, but you could come in and modify those. Finally, I want to show you one more thing. We mentioned that there's a slightly more elegant way to provide the link to the feed information page. In Civi 3.4.5 and earlier versions, there really is no natural place to put that link because there's no place where the user can easily answer the question, hey, what are my assigned scheduled activities? In 3.4.6 and later, activities are added to the contact dashboard. So if we come to CiviCRM and we choose My Contact Dashboard, then in 3.4.6 and later, your activities is included here on the dashboard. And this module knows whether those activities are listed on the dashboard, and if they are, then it includes this message at the top that says activities are now accessible as an iCalendar feed with a link to the feed details page. So when you're on 3.4.6, this link will appear. It's a little bit more elegant, and you don't have to enable this sidebar block here. If you want to get that into 3.4.5 or earlier versions, you could actually come to the issue page, which is at this URL. This is CRM 8855. You could download this patch and apply this patch to CiviCRM in order to get your activities shown on your user dashboard, your contact dashboard. And then once that's there, then the module will include the feed details link at the top of the page. But this is it. This is our module. We hope it's going to be useful to the community. Please come over and check out the sandbox if you have feature requests, if you have issues with it, if you have support questions. Please use the issue queue. We already have one feature request here. Would love to hear from you on ways that we can make this better and more useful for the CiviCRM community. Thanks a lot.